In a small, isolated village nestled deep within the mountains, there was a secret that no one dared to speak of. For generations, the villagers lived simple, peaceful lives, but as time passed, strange events began to unfold under the glow of the full moon. It all began one night when a young girl named Amina, known for her wild imagination, stared up at the moon. Her eyes widened in shock as the moon, glowing bright, seemed to whisper her name. Amina, the voice was soft, yet carried an urgency that sent a chill through her spine. Amina, the voice echoed again, but this time, it was louder, clearer. Who is that? Amina whispered to herself, looking around, but there was no one in sight. She felt her heart race in her chest. Who's there? The voice spoke once more, this time with more clarity. It is I, the moon. I have come to warn you. A disaster is coming, Amina. A great evil stirs in your village, and only you can stop it. Amina stumbled back, her legs weak with fear. She couldn't believe what she was hearing. The moon? Talking. This was impossible, yet there it was, a voice coming from the very heavens above. The villagers didn't believe Amina when she told them what she had heard. They dismissed her as nothing more than a child with a vivid imagination. They laughed and said the moon was just a rock in the sky, and it could do no more than shine its light upon them. But the moon's warning echoed in Amina's mind. As the days went on, she noticed strange things happening in the village. People became ill, their faces pale, their bodies weak. And then, the first death occurred. Old Mma Sadia, the village healer, was found lifeless in her hut, her face frozen in terror. The next night, Amina gazed up at the moon again. Why didn't anyone listen? She whispered to herself. Why didn't they believe me? The voice of the moon spoke once more. It is not too late, Amina. You must act quickly, or more will perish. Amina felt a growing sense of urgency. She had to find the source of this evil. But where could she start? She had no answers, just the ominous words of the moon echoing in her mind. As the days passed, more villagers died, each one falling to the same mysterious illness. The village was gripped by fear, and many began to wonder if Amina's strange story about the talking moon was true after all. In desperation, Amina sought the help of her childhood friend, Odu, who was now a young man known for his intelligence and bravery. Together, they ventured deep into the forest, guided only by the moon's strange whispers. What do you think it is, Odu? Amina asked, her voice filled with both fear and determination. Odu glanced at her, his brow furrowed in concern. I don't know. But we can't ignore it. There's something dark and dangerous lurking around here. I can feel it. They journeyed deeper into the forest, following the moon's eerie light. The trees were twisted and gnarled, and the air was thick with the scent of decay. It was as if the forest itself had become alive, pulsating with a malevolent energy. And then, they reached a clearing. In the center of the clearing stood an ancient, crumbling altar, its stones covered in moss and lichen. As they approached, the moonlight grew brighter, illuminating the altar with an eerie glow. Amina froze. This is where it began. The voice of the moon filled her ears again. Yes, Amina. This is the source of the evil. The altar, created by the dark spirits of the forest, is the gateway. It is what has been poisoning your people. Amina's heart raced. But how do we stop it? The moon's voice was calm yet filled with urgency. You must destroy the altar. Only then will the curse be broken, and the village saved. With trembling hands, Amina stepped forward, reaching for the altar. As her fingers brushed the stones, she felt a cold, powerful force surge through her, and the ground beneath her feet trembled. No. You cannot stop it, a voice hissed, emerging from the shadows. Amina and Odu turned to see a figure emerging from the darkness, cloaked in a tattered robe. His face was hidden in shadow, but his eyes glowed with a sinister red light. "It's too late, child," the figure sneered. "The curse has already begun. You cannot undo what has been set in motion." Amina stood her ground. "I will stop it. I will break the curse." The figure laughed, a sound that sent chills down her spine. "Foolish girl. You cannot defeat me. I am the guardian of this altar, and no one can break the curse without my permission." Amina's eyes narrowed. "We'll see about that." In a desperate move, she reached into her pouch and pulled out a small vial filled with a glowing liquid. It was the moon's gift, the only thing that could destroy the altar and the curse that had taken root in the village. With a cry of defiance, Amina threw the vial onto the altar. The liquid exploded in a burst of light, and the earth shook violently. The figure screamed in rage as the altar crumbled to dust, and the curse that had plagued the village was finally lifted. Amina fell to her knees, exhausted but victorious. Odu rushed to her side, his face filled with relief. "You did it, Amina. You saved us." The voice of the moon spoke one final time. "You have done well, Amina. You have broken the curse." The moon's light began to fade, and the village, once shrouded in darkness and fear, began to heal. The people awoke from their illness, and life slowly returned to normal. But Amina would never forget the talking moon and the dark forces that had almost destroyed her village. She had learned that some secrets were best left untold, but in the end, it was her courage and determination that saved them all.